People gathered around the enormous machine as if staring at an injured beast, broken, silent, and useless. The factory floor was tense, the air thick with disappointment. That engine wasn't just any engine, it was a custom-built, $2 million core that powered an entire luxury car assembly line. Every minute it sat idle meant thousands of dollars lost, and the workers whispered in fear about what would happen if it wasn't fixed soon. Experts had flown in from different cities, engineers with polished suits and degrees framed in gold, but after hours of trying, they all shook their heads. It was hopeless. The CEO herself, a woman known for her brilliance and strength, stood there with clenched fists. For the first time, her employees saw worry in her eyes. And that's when he appeared, Daniel, a single father, worn boots covered in dust, grease stains on his shirt, and eyes that carried both exhaustion and determination. He hadn't been invited. He was just a simple factory worker, struggling every day to make ends meet for his little daughter, Lily. Rumors had spread that the machine was down, and though he wasn't part of the elite repair team, he quietly asked one of the supervisors if he could just look. The room burst into laughter. "You? Fix this? Do you even know what you're touching?" sneered one of the engineers. But Daniel didn't argue. He simply walked closer, carrying nothing but his old toolbox, its handle wrapped in tape, tools slightly rusty but loved, used, and trusted. The CEO noticed the way the workers' eyes shifted toward him. For a moment, she wanted to send him away. After all, if world-class engineers couldn't fix it, how could this man? But something in his gaze stopped her. There was no arrogance, no ego, just quiet confidence. "Let him try," she said softly, silencing the murmurs. Daniel approached the massive engine. His rough hands moved like they were meeting an old friend. He pressed his ear against the metal, tapped it in a few places, and closed his eyes. It was as though he wasn't just fixing a machine, he was listening to its heartbeat. The room grew still. With each turn of his wrench, sparks of hope flickered among the workers. Then, after only a few minutes of adjustment, tightening, and one deep breath, Daniel turned the switch. The engine roared to life. The floor shook. The lights above hummed with power. The massive machine purred like a sleeping lion awakened. For a heartbeat, the factory was silent in shock, and then it erupted into cheers. Men clapped each other on the back, women covered their mouths in disbelief, and the engineers stood frozen, unable to comprehend what had just happened. The CEO's eyes widened as she stared at the man who had done in minutes what experts had failed to do all day. But the most stunning moment wasn't the roar of the machine, it was what the CEO did next. She walked directly to Daniel, ignoring the crowd, and extended her hand. "From this moment on, you are no longer just a worker in this factory," she said, her voice echoing. "You are my chief engineer. And your salary will match the value of your talent." Gasps rippled through the workers. Daniel blinked, unable to process her words. His throat tightened, thinking of the bills stacked at home, the nights he skipped meals so Lily could eat, the dreams he had shelved because survival came first. Tears burned his eyes as he whispered, "Thank you. I just did what I could." That night, Daniel returned home to his tiny apartment. His daughter, with her hair tied in little pigtails, ran into his arms. He lifted her high, laughing through tears. "Daddy got a new job," he told her, voice trembling with joy. "Things are going to change." And for the first time in years, the weight pressing on his shoulders felt lighter. The story of Daniel spread through the factory like wildfire. Workers whispered about how a struggling single dad had saved the company's $1 million engine, not with expensive equipment or prestigious titles, but with heart, experience, and a refusal to give up. The CEO, known for her toughness, showed a softer side too, visiting Daniel personally weeks later, learning about his struggles, and ensuring his daughter's education was fully sponsored. People often think miracles come in golden packages, wrapped with fame and wealth. But sometimes, miracles look like a tired man with rough hands and a heart that refuses to quit. Sometimes, heroes wear worn-out boots instead of shiny shoes. And as you're listening to this story right now, ask yourself, how many Daniels do we overlook every day? How many people carry hidden brilliance inside them, waiting only for a chance to shine? If this story touched you, if it reminded you of the power of persistence, love, and humility, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Because somewhere out there, another single parent, another fighter, is waiting for their moment. And maybe this story will be the spark that tells them, never give up.